Midnight. Footsteps echo through the stone corridors of Topkapi Palace. The flickering light of oil lamps stretches the shadows, while whispers pierce the silence of the night. A hand reaches for the golden-embroidered door handle. But this is no ordinary hand. This hand belongs to a Karaağas, the guardian who holds the keys to the most secret doors of the Ottoman palace. The Karaağas were some of the most fascinating figures of the Ottoman court. They were the mysterious shadows guarding the gates of the harem, the ones Valid Sultan trusted above all others. With silent steps, they wandered the palace, witnessing secrets that everyone wanted to know, but no one else could see. Think of what happened inside the harem. Forbidden loves, secret encounters, intrigues that could change destinies. The Karaağas were the closest witnesses to it all. Who would see the Sultan, who Valid Sultan was meeting with? Or which letter might change a woman's fate? All of this passed through their hands, sometimes with just a single glance. They could turn the balance of power upside down. One particular night became legendary in the palace's history. A young prince, driven by curiosity, stepped into the forbidden corridors of the harem. As he crept through the shadows, a Karaağas appeared silently before him. No words, no shouting, just a hand on the prince's shoulder. And with that, he was taken before the Valid Sultan. In that moment, the winds inside the palace shifted forever. But guarding doors wasn't their only duty. The Karaağas were the pulse of the palace. They knew who did what, which rumors spread, and which secrets were hidden. Sometimes a single word from them could seal a concubine's fate. Other times their silence was the very thing that kept a dangerous secret safe. They were, in truth, the invisible walls of the Ottoman court. Thanks to them, the palace was secure, but also full of mystery. And behind every mystery was the shadow of a Karaağas. The palace wasn't only the stage of grand ceremonies, it was also the home of whispers that no one was supposed to hear. By day, it dazzled with its splendor. But at night, it transformed into a world of shadows. And in those shadows, the Karaağas moved silently. They were not just guards, they were observers. They noticed the hurried footsteps of a concubine, the secret signs exchanged by a sultana, the smallest movement in the harem. Nothing escaped their eyes. One night, a delicate letter, embroidered with fine designs, was handed to the Karaağas to be delivered to Valid Sultan. At first, it seemed like an ordinary note, but the experienced eyes of a Karaağas caught the hidden codes between the lines. It was more than just a letter. It revealed a forbidden meeting between two concubines. If this were exposed, not only those two women, but many others connected to them would be at risk. As the Karaağas carried the letter to Valid Sultan, he hesitated for a moment. If I reveal this, a storm will erupt in the palace. But if I hide it, what new secrets might it unleash? In the end, the letter reached Valid Sultan. And that very night, the balance inside the palace shifted. One concubine was exiled, and the fate of another was sealed. This was the power of the Karaağas. A single decision, a single movement. A single word could change the future of the entire dynasty. And it wasn't only about concubines. Even the princes were under their watchful eyes. Stories tell of a young prince who secretly tried to meet with the daughter of a European ambassador. Such a scandal could shake the entire empire. The meeting was to take place in a secluded garden, but the key to that garden gate belonged to a Karaağas. What was spoken behind that gate, no one ever knew. But by morning, no trace of that meeting remained. Intrigues weren't limited to love. Power struggles were also shaped in the shadows. A vizier whispering advice into the Sultan's ear could not do so without the permission of the Karaağas. Sometimes news bound for the Sultan was delayed in their hands. Other times, it was delivered instantly, leading to the rise or fall of a vizier. Imagine this. A decision is to be made in the palace. Should a prince be moved to another governorship? Should a sultana's marriage be arranged? Behind that closed door, a Karaağas listens, and he has the power to alter the very outcome of those decisions. One night, Valid Sultan entrusted her most loyal Karaağas with a mission. He was to enter a concubine's chamber and uncover the hidden letters she kept. Those letters contained not only words of love, but also dangerous state secrets. Moving silently, he entered the room and found the letters hidden beneath a pillow. In that moment, it wasn't just a concubine's fate that was saved, it was the destiny of an entire dynasty. The greatest strength of the Karaağas was their silence. They saw, they heard, they knew, but they never spoke. That silence sometimes saved lives, and sometimes sealed the fate of a family. By day, they blended into the palace's splendor, but by night, they became the central figures of its most mysterious tales, and that is why the Karaağas were the invisible power of the Ottoman palace. In the Ottoman world, no power lasted forever. One day you could rise to glory, the next day you could be forgotten. And the Karaağas embodied this truth. Some, who started as mere shadows, rose to become some of the most powerful figures in the court, especially the chief Karaağas. The chief Karaağas didn't just hold the keys to the harem, he held the keys to the very heart of the palace. He decided who would see the sultan, which matters valid sultan would address, which concubine would rise, and which would be forgotten. Yet this power came with great risk. The higher a Karaağas rose, the harder his fall. Some were exiled, sent away with their chests full of secrets, never trusting anyone again. Some simply vanished, never to be mentioned again. Were they silenced? Or did they disappear under the weight of their own secrets? To this day, historians wonder, but there were also those who reached the very top. One of them earned the Sultan's absolute trust and became so influential that even viziers had to listen to his word. His power stretched far beyond the harem, influenced the fate of the entire empire. Every day in the palace, new intrigues and new secrets were born. A sultana's private meeting, a prince's dangerous curiosity, a vizier's scheme. And in each of these stories, the trace of a Karaağas could be found. They weren't only guardians. They were keepers of secrets. For decades, they saw, they heard, they knew, but they never revealed. And when their time came, they carried those secrets with them to the grave. Many of the Ottoman palace's greatest mysteries remain unsolved to this day because of the silence of these shadowy figures. When we think of Ottoman history, we imagine sultans, valid sultans, and viziers. But behind the curtain, there was always another power, silent, invisible, yet everywhere. The Karaağas. Without them, would the gates of the harem have remained secure? Would the palace intrigues have grown so deep? Would Ottoman history be the same as we know it today? Perhaps we will never know. Because the Karaağas never revealed their secrets, and that's why they are still remembered as the most mysterious shadows of the Ottoman palace. So what do you think? Were the Karaağas silent heroes of history, or were they the invisible force that shaped an empire? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. Because we will continue to bring you the untold stories of the Ottoman palace. See you in the next video.